Daniel Suarez is a first-generation Cuban-American, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. He is currently pursuing an MFA in creative writing poetry at San Francisco State University. He has a poem in the upcoming issue of RHINO, and has been published in the Columbia Poetry Review. Please give Daniel a hand.
All right. Thank you, VelRo. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. What kind of setup you have here, Jason? All right, so I'm going to start with this poem, and it's dedicated to somebody here. And the title is an allusion to a Flipper album called Album Generic Flipper. And Flipper is a hardcore punk band from the late 70s and 80s from San Francisco. So this is called Poem Generic Daniel Suarez. For Lisa Marie Schnabel, who told me on my birthday that all my poems were beautiful and that she wanted to see me use the word fucking one. That's true. That's right. This poem will be generic, meaning not specific, general. It will not use formalities. I will not say love. I love you. In it, there will be subtle glints of anger, a tone used when addressing that will crack like. This poem will take the reader through the tongue I use to address the quiet, silent crowd. Now that the poem will speak, fuck you.
Ooh, this is the lineage. Hold it up.
All right, so I'm working on a series of poems about saints and orishas. Orishas are basically Yoruban South African gods that have to do with Santeria. With Santeria is a mixture of Catholicism with their Yoruban religion. And so this is for the Orisha Yemaya. Yemaya, standing on the beach, taking on the stars and cold wind. I should have built you an altar, burned a blue 7-day candle, and placed a honey-smothered watermelon in a bowl for you before coming here. I could have brought you that melon and sat it down on the shore for your waves to engulf. I don't even have 7 pennies for 7 wishes to cross myself with and drop into the ocean. Mother of the 7 seas, I extend my arms out to you, hands palm side up, eyes closed, imagining blue flowers, their petals trickling from between my fingers, falling and floating on your body of water, hoping that this gesture will please you. Protector of children, I come to you tonight disguised in the bodysuit of a man. But I will stand beneath your crown of moon and stars and strip my flesh, presenting the unprotected child, fetal positioned in my chest, who needs your compassion and nourishment. And if it wasn't for the santera that warned me long ago to not go night swimming, I would throw myself into your liquid arms and swim with you. La sirena and the Pisces fish, the mother of children and the man-child with salted tears mixing into salted waters, salt seeking salt to heal old wounds. And salt seeking salt is taken from a Derek Walcott poem. And this one's kind of like, how can I put it? Kind of a farewell to Chicago, because I don't think I'll move back here, but maybe I will. I don't know, you can never say you won't. I like that. In this poem, I will try to weave Zuzu's petals into the narrative. This Christmas, there is no snow covering the ground, cracked gray scale of unbeautiful city that depresses. I feel pressed down into those slabs of concrete that go on for blocks. This is home, Chicago, the former stockyard for the nation that Benny Goodman had to escape but couldn't. No matter how far he got, he could always smell slaughter on his father. I too can smell my father on nights wandering San Francisco, the scent of stale cigarettes and alcohol after a late night shift tending bar, and the stench on his breath after nursing drinks and smoking at a bar he didn't tend. These are memories, emotional baggage that forces me to escape but cannot be shed. They are not lizard, skin to be skinned. Today, I feel the wind chill factor dipping 30 degrees to 15, and I want to find the nearest bridge overlooking the Chicago River to bid my farewell. My soul leaping from body to water to shock it, to bury it, to keep it forever, to reincarnate it. As a memory, to pull from time to time, to remember I was born on a winter's day in February. I keep you close like petals to hold on to remind me I am alive. All right. The day my mother brought home a chicken. To her, a chicken's peck was deadly. The fear of having to carry a live chicken home from the butcher caused her to panic in her mind. Reeling images, flickers of head bobbing, beak pecking, young flesh bleeding. Better to conceal string in the hem of her skirt, thread to knot around the chicken's legs. The butcher not even asking why he must tie, and the safety she found in the strong legs of that chicken cannot be described, because in her mind, it all made sense. And you might think she carried the legs tied chicken home, but no, the fear of it fighting the blood rushing to its head, the violent fits of its beaked head looking for flesh to peck was too great a fear, so her senses told her to drag it home down a gravel road, passing neighbors' houses, terror at a child, dragging an innocent body, the squealing clucks, the trail of feathers, till she reached the front door, where her mother, who waited for her daughter in the kitchen, called her with her hands ready to snap neck in the yard, water boiling, ready to de-plume, and she was shocked at the chicken, its battered condition, the tied legs, its missing feathers, the specks of blood, its little gasps, nothing compared to the swift death her hands would have administered. All right, and so I'm going to read one from here. I guess that's a little bit pretentious, but I lost a hard copy of this on my computer, so I'm going to read it from the journal it was published in. Hate doing this shit.
Is it Columbia?
Yeah.
Also published in Columbia.
Poetry review.
No, it's not. Because he only wrote RHINO.
A memory forgotten, remembered. Once, a santera told me, after reading my tarot cards, that I shouldn't swim too far out into the ocean, or go swimming at night, that I was a water sign and was destined to drown. Something forgotten, remembered, at 4 in the morning after swimming out into Lake Michigan, when I turned my head back to see how far out I was and saw a faint image of friends on the beach, waiting in the water. I looked ahead of me. All I saw was darkness, black water too deep to measure by eye. Realizing my fate was in the hands of Oshun, I checked to see if I was still wearing my necklace with the charm of Our Lady of Charity and darted back to shore. All right. And this next one is a poem about my grandfather. Ode to Abuelo's Machete. As a child, I watched Abuelo wield you with a Juajino's precision, your sharp blade glistening in Hialeah's sun as he cut down branches and vines from the building he didn't own. After the yard work, he would wipe you clean, bring you into his apartment, and place you under his bed where he could reach for you in the middle of the night. I longed to hold you then like Abuelo would. I even imagined you and me in pre-Castro Cuba cutting sugar cane, but I was not allowed to hold you in my unskilled hand. As Abuelo's hands grew weaker, you were held less. Beneath the bed you stayed, your blade dull and rusting. After Abuelo's funeral, I went for you, took you from your resting place, worn handle in my hand, and wept. I keep you in my closet, have not sharpened or polished your blade, because you are no longer meant for labor. Yeah, that's already this one. This is for my sister. I'm discovering you have Meniere's disease. Sister, I am frightened for you. Frightened at the fact that you might lose your hearing. As always, you are playing strong and saying, it's okay, I'll learn sign language. But I want to know, are you frightened too? Because someday, maybe soon, the voices of loved ones will become a memory. One for your imagination to add to conversation as you struggle to read lips. Sister, your balance is already off. The vertigo has worsened. Attacks come unannounced and you drop dizzy to the floor. For hours the spinning lasts and you say, it's okay, it will pass. Sister, I am frightened, and before noise ceases to exist for you, I will say anything, will call you for no reason, just so you can hear my voice, because I want you to hear me. Sister, listen to me. When the time comes, I will learn to sign too. Yeah, this is for my grandmother. When I was meticulous with rice, she kept the Mahatma brand white rice in a green cracker tin in the hall closet. Too heavy for her arthritic hands, grandfather carried it to the kitchen table, where she used a mug to scoop the day's ration onto a cloth. Gently, she ran her fingers through the mound, searching for tiny stones, getting rid of cracked or off-colored grains, her face like a santera's reading caracoles. Afterward, she picked up the corners of the cloth, making a pouch, took the rice to the sink, where she poured it into a pot and rinsed it twice before cooking. All right, and I'm going to read 3 poems from another series of poems about my father leaving Cuba. This is the first one. 1. He whispered nothing to his mother and father, did not confide in his brothers or sisters. He packed nothing, left only with a promise to Santa Barbara that if he survived the 90 miles of ocean, he would tattoo her image on his arm. The day he left, his family thought he was at work, not boarding a small boat with 6 strangers. He was told the motor was new, that there was enough fuel. He left with no food or water. He hoped to reach the coast of Florida that same day. He put faith in that vessel, not knowing. 2. The sky clear, the ocean calm, the boat cut quietly into the water. His eyes and ears at attention, looking for olive military suits in the distance, listening for the echo of a rifle shot. He held his breath. The motor started. He was told it would start. The boat darted across the water. Salt water sprayed into his eyes, forcing him to squint. Did he cross himself? Utter a prayer? Did he look back one last time? Did he cry? Did he begin to miss home the moment he entered the water? Did he regret not saying goodbye to his mother and father? 3. Land became faint in all was water. The cramped boat's silence broke by the whir of the motor. All was smooth. With every mile gained, Cuba was becoming a memory, something to look back on. But did they look back, tempted to return home and suffer the consequences of communism? No. They kept moving forward, waiting to see Florida's outline. All was smooth. Did anyone wonder too smooth? And so I'm going to close on a poem written in Spanish. And the title is Juajino, which basically is slang and it translates into hick. But Cubans have taken it on as a term of endearment. So it's not really insulting, unless you're an outsider calling someone, I guess. So it's kind of an ode to my grandfather, my father, and all these family members that were raised on farms, did labor. Juajino, hoy es tu día de descanso. Deja tu machete en el campo. Toca tu guitarra y canta un son lleno de corazón. Pon tu alma en cada verso lleno de alma. Cántale a todo, a la muchacha tendiendo ropa, a los muchachos tirando piedras, a tu vecino matando el lechón, a la esposa de tu vecino recogiendo naranjas agrias, a los pájaros chiflando en los árboles, al cielo azul, a las nubes blancas, al sol brillante. Cántale a todo, que todo sea cantado.